Hello, and welcome to my channel. I went to see Argylle this weekend, and now I want to review it for you. It's a spy comedy written by Jason Fuchs and directed by Matthew Vaughn. The film stars Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie Conway, Sam Rockwell as Aidan Wilde, and Bryan Cranston as Director Ritter. The story is a spoof on spy thrillers that begins with Ellie Conway. She's a famous spy novelist who is about to complete the 5th book in her series, Argylle. She's on her way home when a strange man called Aidan approaches her and tells her that her novel is too close to reality and a real spy agency is now targeting her for information. The two and her cat Alfie go on a mission around the world that sees them dodging bullets, jumping off of buildings, and taking on a rogue spy agency with vast resources. On the side, you have Director Ritter, a cruel and unforgiving man who intends to find Ellie and snuff out the threat to his organization. The story flips back and forth between the two perspectives, focusing mainly on Ellie and Aidan as they traverse the planet. There's also bits of hallucination from Ellie about the spy Argylle and his partner Wyatt. For characters, you have Director Ritter and a few lackeys, Ellie and Aidan, and a few characters that help them in their journey. There is also another set of characters that only exist within the novel Ellie is writing: Argylle, Wyatt, and Kira. Ellie Conway is an unconfident writer who's quite successful. She appears to be timid and relies heavily on her mother to help her make decisions. Ellie also loves cats and goes to great lengths to protect Alfie on their journey. Aidan is the opposite of a super spy. He's rude, obnoxious, and he looks like a total asshole while he's kicking ass. He's constantly getting beat up and made to look stupid when he tries to pull off a cool move. Despite that, he's an amazing spy and gets the job done every time. Director Ritter is your typical evil bad guy. He yells, he punishes his henchmen for failure, and he has a flair for the dramatic. He also has a sweet shotgun called Carmine. Visually, the film starts in a bookstore and quickly turns into a grand adventure. Ellie and Aidan run around searching for clues, listening to long-winded explanations and reveals, flirting and joking around, and fighting a few henchmen along the way. For big moments, you have about 5 major fight scenes, each of which is a complex fight between multiple foes and Aidan. Toward the end of the film, the fights get more creative and take on an entirely new tone. Sound-wise, you have scored instrumentals and original pop songs. Both support the emotional journey and attempt to add some atmosphere to the film. The music tends to be loud and highly dramatic. It reminded me of a soap opera in a lot of ways, always trying to draw out every last bit of emotion and attempting to set the pace throughout the film. Okay, so how was it? The writing was a mess. It was a story within a story within a story. They didn't explain any of it well, even though there was a good premise at the core of it. The characters also weren't developed well. Both Aidan and Ellie feel quite generic and the villains are the same way. That said, there are a lot of exciting moments in the film that are just a ton of fun to watch. The fights were especially creative and fun, and they only got better toward the end. I loved the humor in watching the two of them dance and murder a team of mercenaries. The cast does what they can, and there are even some decent performances in the film, but they're all extremely limited by the script and their lack of exposure. Sam Rockwell and Bryan Cranston go to great lengths to try and make their characters personable and entertaining. Sam Jackson, Henry Cavill, Catherine O'Hara, and John Cena all show up to do a decent job of their tiny moments on screen too. The big problem is Bryce Dallas Howard. She is a gaping hole of charisma and has zero chemistry with Sam Rockwell. She struggles to perform any emotion that looks genuine and fails to deliver her lines properly several times. Visually, the journey is quite extravagant to look at. They did a great job with their sets and locations, creating an entire world to play in that looks fantastic. They put a ton of detail into the background and shot the journey in a stable and clear manner. They even had some amazing moments in the fights. They were fast-paced, cleanly executed with stunning choreography. Toward the end, they even started challenging themselves by throwing in different elements to the fights. They look amazing. The dance fight in the hallway and the oil skating fight are both top-notch scenes. Sound-wise, the film is a bit over-dramatic. The music comes in quite heavily and loudly and takes over most of the scene it's in. Because the music is so dramatic all the time, the effect starts to lessen over time, and by the end of the film it sounds quite bland. There were some really good moments where the music lined up perfectly with the rest of the film, but most of the time it's just too much. Overall, Argylle was an okay movie. It has some good moments in it. It has some decent actors trying their best, and the visuals and soundtrack have some good quality to them. If you're looking for great characters though, you won't find them here. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 5 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.